Welcome, people.
Yes,
this is the
people.
Unspoken Gems podcast.
Easy.
For your mum, for your dad, for your sister, for your uncle, for your nephew. I'm sorry I do different ones each time, don't I?
Like, it's a different list every time. Like.
But yeah, for everybody, we don't discriminate. My name is Kio, one of your hosts, and to my left, I've got my co-host.
Yes, I go by the name of Drizz.
And today, we've got a special guest by the name of Iesha. How you doing, love?
I'm good.
Nah, welcome.
How are you? Thank you.
So, if you don't know, this is Mrs. Cake Bake East. Now, Iesha, where does the name come from, Cake Bake East?
Cake Bake East, so I don't really know, you know. Obviously, I'm from East London, and there's loads of different cake shops.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just call it cakes, because I do loads of stuff. It's not just cakes that I do, so cakes and bakes in East London. It just made sense to me.
So when you started what was the reason why you started Cake Bake East? How did that come across? Was the pandemic partially because of that?
Partially. So baking is something that I've always done. It's not just me. It's me and my grandma, little family business.
Sick.
She used to be a chef and had to stop because of a work injury decades ago. And I grew up in her kitchen, so on the weekends, going to her catering kitchen, sitting in the corner, being quiet. But you learn a lot just sitting there watching, right? No. And yeah, we just started cooking together. And that's been something that I've done pretty much my whole life, just me and her. And then a couple of years back, I started doing cakes for my friends and family. Everybody says, oh, you should do it properly. Like, you know what you're doing. Start selling the stuff. And I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's not do you know what, yeah? When you're starting a business, when you're starting anything, I'm sure when you're starting a podcast, you're like, oh, let's do it. Let's do it. And you always find reasons not to. So even though I was doing it, I wasn't advertising it. I didn't have any social media. It was literally just people that knew me.
Yeah,
word of mouth. And they would have to beg me.
To
like,
do
it. I beg you, make me. And I'd always, no.
Can't be asked.
I'm busy. Or just because I thought I didn't know enough.
So what got you out of that to do it then? If you said you couldn't be bothered.
Being put on furlough. Listen, I was on furlough for 2 days, yeah? Literally 48 hours. I sat there in bed for 2 days. I'm sure I rinsed the whole of Netflix in those 2 days. And I went and spoke to my mum. I said, Mum, I might go mad. Like, I can't. It's been 2 days and I can't do this. So a lot of my friends work in the NHS and stuff like that. So this is when we was starting doing the clap for heroes and all that stuff. Yeah. And I called my friends and I said, look, I've never made cookies before, but I've made loads. My whole kitchen was covered. Yeah. Like within 24 hours, it was just everywhere, and I had to start calling people to come and collect stuff. Like I was literally putting it on Snapchat. Guys, I've got all of these. So I beg somebody come and collect that. I started giving it away to my friends in the NHS, and everybody was like, "Look, we've been begging you for just make the Instagram." Made the Instagram, and my phone just started ringing straight away.
So how did that feel for you? The whole process of like, from not wanting to do it for no one to then getting an Instagram and then your phone actually start ringing for orders. How did you find that whole transition from?
It was scary. It's a very scary thing because it's just you.
Yes.
If things go wrong, you have no one to blame. It's just you.
Because you're running it.
Exactly. You're running it. You're responsible. And don't get me wrong, there's times where I completely fall off and I'm like, I'm not going to post nothing on Instagram this month. Because the moment you post, people see it.
Attracted to it.
People see it. You're going to start getting DMs. And sometimes I'm not going to post. I'm just giving myself a break.
That's sick, yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. I just had to run with it. And I'm glad I did it. Like, I haven't looked back since. As I was saying to you guys, there hasn't been a time in the past. We've been in lockdown for a year now, next month. It's been a whole year and it hasn't been a time where I've been worried. Like, I've had 3 jobs in lockdown because I've come from hospitality. Hospitality's gone.
It's gone completely.
You know, it's gone completely. And there hasn't been a time where I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? Oh my God, what am I going to... I want new clothes. Like, I can't get that. I haven't lacked for anything and I'm so thankful. But that's just something I would tell everyone to do. Whether we're in lockdown or whatever, make sure you have something for yourself. Even if you don't know what it is, what are you good at? Do you know what I mean? You could, I don't know, you might be good at making paper airplanes.
Make them, true.
Make the paper airplanes.
Just
get off the ground.
Have a YouTube channel
where
teaching people how to fold paper. Who cares?
No, that's so true.
It's just something.
Do you think as well, Aisha, that the if predominantly if the lockdown never happened, you would have had that drive to actually start the business?
Definitely not.
Yeah, see,
It wouldn't have happened. I just wouldn't have done it because I was happy just going to work, coming home, having no responsibilities other than getting money in the bank and, you know, just living life day by day, enjoying myself in the weekends. I don't have, the only downfall to this now is I don't really have weekends as such. Like, there's no...
Always busy, yeah.
I'm always busy, you know, but you've just got to make time for yourself.
So how do you separate them? Because if you've got a big order, how do you kind of say to yourself, no, today I'm not doing anything? Or do you have help? Does anyone help you?
I have help, as I said. My grandma's there.
Okay.
My little nan, she's an absolute gem. If there's a date, she will literally walk in my house on her deck. She still works. She's not that old. She's only in her 60s. She's not like the little retired pensioner. She's active. Like she's one of those grandmas.
Right, the OGs are always on point though, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Active. Wait, she'll be at my door at 9 a.m. like walk through the front door.
On your
what
case,
orders have we got?
straight away,
Like
you
she's
know what I'm
like,
saying?
okay, the next 2 weeks, what have we got? And I'm like,
that's sick though.
Yeah,
that
on the
drive
ball,
is,
innit?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, I don't know what we've got to do. I ain't looked at my calendar. I'm tired. Let me sleep, you know. But no, she is on it. She's on it. We've got a good system going. Little production line, 2 kitchens.
Sick.
We've got our full health and safety certificate. So, you know.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because I know during lockdown a lot of people are setting up businesses but not doing health and safety
from their home.
Yeah,
as well,
from their home.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people are a bit iffy and ordering some things from people because they're not too sure if they've done the health and safety,
and all
if they've
that.
got certification. And the fact you've got that is really putting you a step ahead of most people, because I know a lot of people are doing it without that
Just
stuff.
raw, and like
no certificate,
no papers,
nothing.
straight.
Which
Cooking the food and selling.
Yeah,
That's it,
but that's the thing again about lockdown is a lot of people wanted to do the businesses, but they want to do it the right way. Just wanting something out. And like you said, if you're on furlough, you've got nothing to do at home, you're not going to think, okay, I'm going to get my certificate. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing you've done as well, Aisha. So in relation to content, how do you find getting content out for your Instagram? Do you find it difficult? Was you a person that was content related and used your Instagram quite heavily before the business?
No, I'm like meme central. Like, I'm going on Instagram just for bad. You know what I mean? I don't even. If you see my personal, there's nothing on there. I probably do like 2 posts a year. Happy birthday to myself, and I'm on holiday. That's it. That is literally my Instagram feed, and I don't like social media. I don't like being a spectacle or whatever. I'm not like on image or anything like that. So for me, keeping on top of my Instagram and constantly putting content out there is difficult. It's very, very hard. Luckily my sister, her background is marketing and e-commerce.
Okay, so
obviously I come from sales and marketing, and she comes from marketing and e-commerce. So the two together, if she would literally go on my Instagram
and break it apart,
like, she'd be like, what are you doing? She'd be like, what are you doing? Like, where's the post? Where's the content? You haven't posted since this date. And if you look at your competitors, they've posted on this date, this date, this date, this date. What are you doing with your life? And I'm just like, leave me alone. Just let it go. I'm at the point where I'm like, do you know what? I think it's just time I give her my password.
I was going to say that. Do you think it might be better for you to maybe give it to someone for example, your sister to do your social media side? Because essentially it gives you less work as well.
It is.
Because it's stressful as it is already.
Exactly. So that is a really important thing to have. If you're not that content driven, or you don't have that insight into the social media world and all of those things, you do need to have somebody who is going to do that for you or give you advice. Like, she is always on my case all the time, or she will send me a screenshot of like an idea or whatever,
inspiration,
or like she'll give me even things like you know, you get all of these weird days, like, I don't know, World Chocolate Day, or do you know what I mean? Those sort of things. She'll send me a list of this month we've got this day, this day, this day, this day, this day. Do something about it. Yeah, and most of the time I'm like, no. But I do need to take her advice, and I am going to get her way more involved. That sounds a good idea, because I think even during lockdown, everyone had time to look at social media, watch YouTube, watch Netflix. And the thing that popped up for everyone, and I said it in the last pod, is a lot of us had to have a quarantine birthday. Now,
quarantine birthday means we want a cake. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
exactly, this is even how I knew you before this anyway. But I've ordered cakes for you during the quarantine because you still want to have a cake on your birthday.
You've still got to celebrate. You've still got to, check in on those milestones.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
no,
time is
definitely.
just going, and we're not really acknowledging any big moments in our lives.
Exactly.
Like there are still things happening around us, and I think people do need to take note of that and not just let it, fall by the wayside. And
And it's true, a cake goes a longer way than what you think it does.
Yeah, and then
That's what people take that for
it
granted.
makes the birthday.
It makes the
innit?
birthday.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
Celebration, innit?
Yeah.
Like,
And I think food and everything on Instagram at now has been at its forefront. Everyone's looking at food stuff.
Nobody ain't got nothing to do but sit at home and eat. So
That's
nobody has anything to do but sit at home and eat.
You're right. You're
Trust
right.
me.
You're so right. I've to be honest, I was a person that never really ordered off a delivery and stuff like that. And lockdowns made me do it. Obviously, I like to cook my own food. Don't get me wrong. But I was forced to have to order off these sites.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's nothing better than to do. Just sit down and eat.
Nothing to do.
And it's difficult to get out of this rut because you can get stuck in it. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, I've watched all of Netflix. There's not one thing I haven't watched on Netflix. Like everything. What have you been watching on Netflix recently anyway?
Do you know what? I watch so many things I can't even
You can't
tell
remember,
you.
yeah.
I can't tell you.
Say
I
it.
watch the thing, like when you're baking, I've got my stand, my iPad, and it's just churning out everything. I watch everything and anything. What's her name? Taraji J.
Oh, Taraji P. Henson.
Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah.
Her film came out 2 days ago. What Men Want.
Yes, I saw that come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you remember Jack Black did a? Is it Jack Black? What's his name? He did that guy. He did a film a couple of years ago about he could hear women's voices.
Oh, I forgot what it's called.
No, not
Sounds
that.
yeah, sounds
That's not
familiar,
Jack Black.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was the one fat women. That was different.
Yeah.
So he could only do big women.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. There was a film years ago about he could only hear. It wasn't Jack Black. It was somebody else. But he could only hear women's voices.
Like the intuition.
Like her
Okay.
internal voices.
Okay,
like her,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah, her thoughts and her feelings and stuff like that.
That's fine.
And it's exactly the same thing. But I watched that. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
I might give that a watch. I saw it pop up today, so I might watch that. I might give it a watch. But yeah, going back to your cakes, Iesha, how do you source out all your ingredients? So if I say today now I want a strawberry, or I sent you a picture of a cake,
Yeah.
would you make my cake that I've sent you a picture of, or would you give me images of what you can do? Can you make to order?
So everything is custom to the client's requirements, depending on time and what we've got available. So some people want flowers on their cakes. That's fine. But then I've had people don't know that you can't just put any flowers on a cake.
Yeah, it has to be
Some
specific.
flowers are toxic. You know?
I can only imagine, innit? Like, yeah.
Somebody wanted lilies on their cake, and I said, I'm
What,
not
to
gonna
eat?
lie. No,
Just a decoration, yeah.
But I had to tell them, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna put it on your cake because you might die.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the pollen is toxic.
Toxic,
So
yeah.
sometimes you've got to say no. And then there's other times where I don't know, like the flowers might not be in season, so you can't have it, or you've given me 2 days notice. And there's no way I'm breaking my neck, running all over the place to make sure that I get your supply. Especially in lockdown when, you remember at the beginning of lockdown, we didn't even have flour. Do you know how hard it was?
I remember,
That's
that
what
was
I'm saying.
bad,
There
yeah.
was no
Everyone
flour
was
in the
going
shop.
crazy,
Yeah,
innit,
it's
man?
true.
That's what I'm
No
saying.
flour in the shops. I'm trying to, like, I don't know, I'm having to go Asda, beg them to bring out whatever they've got in the back.
Yeah.
And then I want to buy 10. No, you're only limited to 2.
Yeah.
Like, no.
That's mad.
What
That
am I
must have
gonna
slowed
do
you down
too?
completely
Yeah.
then.
It didn't, because I found a whole bunch of wholesalers.
Just
I basically
hit them up, yeah.
I found a whole bunch of wholesalers. This is where I had to do my research and make sure that I knew my stuff and where to get things and back up suppliers. And then I eventually found a whole bunch of warehouses in North London that they supply to off licenses.
Okay, yeah.
So I was just buying in bulk.
Bulk, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
standard.
I've had to build so much storage in my house. To the point where everybody in my house is like, this ain't even my house anymore. It's the cake's house. But yeah, you've just got to get creative.
No, you definitely do. So in relation to the business as well, Iesha, are you still on furlough from work at the moment, or you gone back to work?
No, so I've
Okay.
got a new job, but because I'm doing my own thing and I do want to grow my business.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Make sure that I'm only doing, when I was looking for a job, I was making sure I was only looking for jobs that work around me.
Yeah, because
Like I said, I work 4 days on, 4 days off. So I take all my bookings in those 4 days that I'm off. If somebody does really want something that I'm at work on those days, I've got to plan ahead and make sure that, like, I've got family. All my family help me. If I'm not in, like when you ordered your
Yeah,
cake,
yeah.
I was at home.
You said to me, I'm
I was
at home.
not
Yeah,
at home.
That was sick,
I did the order. I made sure everything
Yeah.
was prepped in the morning. Everything's labelled. Everybody's names on everything. And my mum is such a big help. She hands out everything for me.
I must say, people, not just because I know her, but the customer service is impeccable. So if you're gonna order from her, take my word, it was impeccable. Like I said, literally, she wasn't at home, but my cake was there. There was no fault at all. All my family had some.
I think it was 2 days notice.
Yeah, just say that, like you said.
So like with
with
your custom pieces, your cakes that you make, how long does it roughly take you to make?
So, I mean, if I was doing nothing else, couple hours, like, I don't know, maybe like 6 hours, because you got to bake, and then you got to cool, and then there's so many layers that go on top of a cake to make it structurally sound, and in between each layer you've got to let it set. So that's what takes the time. But when you're doing multiple orders at the same time, you've got to like bake all the cakes, leave all the cakes, stack all the cakes, leave all of those, and then do you know what I mean? Like you've got to do it in stages.
Is that tricky as well? Because you could make a lot of cakes. What if one
or
subsides
like
or
mad detailed
detailed
cakes?
Then you have to do it again. Has that happened before? You've done a cake and you've knocked it back, so you dropped it.
Yeah, like so I did a cake the other day. I did a cake the other day. It was literally I finished it like
ready.
3 a.m. 3 a.m. I finished that cake. I woke up at 9 and I'm looking in the fridge and I was like, this is 10 out of 10. I'm so happy with it. And I was so tired. What did I do? Just whacked it in the back of my hand. The biggest dent in the cake. And I was like, oh, what do I do? And I just had to fix it. There was nothing. There was no ways around it.
Wow.
I told the customer, "Look, I'm sorry. I need an extra hour. If you want me to deliver, I'll deliver. So, like, it's fine." There has been things, especially when it gets to the summer and the temperature.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah.
Last summer we had a heat wave and it was what did it get to? Like 32.
Yeah, it was big.
It got to like 32, and the cakes were just not setting in enough time.
Wow.
Or
too hot.
sometimes, do you know what the biggest problem is? Clients that don't listen.
That's like you said, that goes back to when you said you just can't be bothered to take it to the next step because it's the clients that don't listen, and the clients give you stress.
Sometimes. So in the summer, there's a lot. I give people a long list of instructions of things to do. Don't leave it in your car. It's hot. Don't drive with it on your lap. Because nobody's lap is.
I got them instructions, guys. I got them
It's not stable. It's not stable. You know?
God,
like, if you're, I don't know, like if you're picking up in the morning and the cake it's 30 degrees outside and the cake is not gonna be on display or used until I don't know 6 p.m. Don't leave it on your kitchen counter. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. Put it in the fridge. Like there's a lot of things that people need to take into account. Especially with the style of cakes that I do because they're quite tall. They're not like the shallow 2 layers of sponge that you get in the shop or anything like that. They're tall, so as soon as it gets hot, they are. If you're not careful and you're not following instructions, it can literally just subside. Do you know what I mean? I have had that a few times, and I've had to ask the client, "Look, was it in the fridge? Is your kitchen hot?" Well, I mean, it's in the kitchen and I'm cooking.
Yeah, see, this,
you know, like.
So would they complain to you when these things happen?
At the beginning, I can honestly say there were things that were my fault.
Okay, still
just the lack of knowledge.
Yep.
But now all of those kinks have been fixed and out of the way. When there has been things where I know, do you know what, that is me. I've complete refunds. I have no problems with that. I have no problems with putting my hands up and apologising to a client. If it's my fault, it's my fault. But I've now taken the time to educate myself, make sure that I know the trade, make sure that I have the skill set to be able to be confident enough to say, do you know what, I'm really sorry, but did you follow the instructions? You know, and that's that really.
So would you want the business? Is this something you willing to do full time? Like, would you put your other job on hold if it does get to that level and say, you know what, I'm just gonna go all into this and just nothing else? Is that something you like to do in the future?
I thought about that. I would love to say that I could go full time with it. But just the way I am, I mean, the business is full time anyway. There's always, between me and my grandma, we're always good. Like, there's never there's not days where I'm like, there's not like weeks on end where I'm like, you know what, we can't take orders or anything like that. Like, we're always, our calendar's available until it's not, you know, like until it's, unless it's booked, the calendar's fine. But the way I am, I like to do different things. I'm a bit like, my mind's all over the place.
No, I understand.
I can't just stick to one thing.
Yeah.
I need time away. Like, I can't imagine being chained to my kitchen counter 7 days a week.
You need a change of scenery at least.
Do you know what I mean? I need a change of scenery. I need to do something else, even if that's going to my living room and working from home on my computer or whatever. Just
Something
being in the
different.
kitchen is too much all the time. It gets hot in there, you know.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine.
It's really hot.
Like, I would love to get into catering and hospitality, but boy, yeah,
Right,
it's easier than what it looks. Do you know what I mean?
It's not
easier than what it
easy.
is. It's easier than what it is.
Not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Honestly, like, you've got the long hours.
Yeah.
The injuries. The amount of times I've burnt myself, like, it's not even a joke.
Yeah.
Just because you're moving around the kitchen so fast. Yesterday I was making salted caramel, right? Salted caramel. Working with sugar is a dangerous thing.
Burning sugar is crazy.
It burns quick, innit, or something, innit?
I mean, if that
the whole
touches
time,
you,
really.
if that touches you, it's crazy. Do you know how many burns I've got on my hand from yesterday? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I was wearing gloves, and still. Just because I'm rushing and I'm like, no, I'm running out of time, we've got to get this done.
So when you get the salted caramel order, do you think, not another one sometimes? Do you think, another salted caramel, I've got to deal with that?
Nah, it's worth it, you know. It is worth it. It is one of my favourite flavours, so I'm never going to be like, oh, crap, I've got to make this thing. But yeah, it's just dangerous. There's so many things you need to know when you're in the kitchen.
I can imagine. So in terms of orders, so in terms of sizes of birthday cakes, what is the size range that you do?
Right, so I've had to introduce, at the beginning of lockdown, well, not beginning of lockdown, quite early on, I realised I have to add a new size in because, as you said, lockdown birthdays, right? So you need to have the minis. So they start from a 4-inch, which is...
How many people does that serve?
4-inch is, because they're quite tall, I always say 8 to 10.
Okay.
And then but if you was to look on an actual chart, it would say 6 to 8. But because I do them taller, there's more height to them. It will feed those extra people. And then we've got a 6-inch, which at a stretch, 20 people. So I normally say 16 to 20. Then you've got an 8-inch, which can easily do 30, 35.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Exactly. And then you've got a 10-inch, which is the largest that I do on a regular basis. That can easily do about 50. And then my biggest is a 12. Now a 10 and a 12, I can't carry on my own.
So 12, what we saying then? How big is a 12? That is like...
Not high. Not high.
I'm thinking, wait a minute.
So a 10 is about like the size of a 10 is the size of a pizza. Personal
So
pizza.
that table...
So we're talking thingy-wise, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm talking about
diameter.
the diameter.
Yeah.
So if you look at, like, if you was to go, I don't know, Pizza Express, those pizzas for ones are a 10. So they're about that wide, and then the cake's about this tall. And then you've got...
That's a lot of cake.
It's a hell of a lot of cake.
That's a wedding or something.
Yeah, that is serious.
And then you've got all of the decorations on top.
Boy.
You know? And then I go up to a 12 now. I think I've only ever done one 12.
I say, how long does that
take? And to hold it, that must weigh at least.
Insane.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's mad.
Like, it needs 2 people.
Wait for a cake. Imagine dropping a 12-inch and having to do that again.
I cry.
I'll cry as well.
I'll on the floor and cry.
That's what I was gonna say. Nothing. Game's over.
I'll lie in the middle of the road and say, "Kill me now." Honestly, I've never touched. I need a piece of wood. I've never ever dropped a cake yet. I say yet because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Touch wood, so you're cool.
I'm touching wood. God, please, just don't let me do it. But I ain't dropped a cake to date. If I was to drop a cake a 10-inch or a 12. The amount of hours I got to put into that, I would. Oh no.
Yeah, that would be dreadful.
That would be the worst.
I would be
that
sagging.
would be the worst.
That'd be dreadful.
Yeah.
So are you gonna incorporate anything else in the cake business, like maybe cheesecakes and stuff like? Is that something you're
Funny
looking
enough,
at?
I just got my first cheesecakes out today, this morning. So I started doing an afternoon tea package.
Okay.
Today I had a TikTok themed afternoon tea, which sounds a bit weird. So it was like loads of little pieces, cake pops, cake lollies, mini cheesecakes. So I did like a classic strawberry cheesecake, and then I had a Snickers cheesecake, 2 different styles of lollies and cake pops, and then I had cupcakes, mini cupcakes, and a birthday cake. All TikTok themed. I will post that soon.
So that afternoon. So when would that come into fruition? When can people start making orders on that?
See, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
This was something that it was a bespoke order for a customer. That's what they specifically asked for. And I collaborated with them as to what we could incorporate in it, how many pieces of each, and all of those things. It took a lot of planning between the two of us, but it's just trying to finalize what actually goes in that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to a hell of a lot of afternoon teas. I've loved cake for a long time. So, but yeah, so I need to properly think about it, and whether I'm going to do savoury items as well. So there are a lot of food suppliers and caterers that I collaborate with, and I know just from being in the industry. So I am going to approach a few of those and see what they would like to do with me, if they would like to do anything with me and offer that service.
That makes sense. Sense. Iesha, in terms of collaborations or how to get your ideas, we had another business on the episode not too long ago, and they said they like join Facebook groups to get information on how to build their business. Is there any groups or anything you're part of?
Yeah, so I'm in quite a few Facebook groups. There is one. Anytime I have any like creative crisis or mind block or whatever, there's a cake group called the Cake Decorating Group on Facebook, and it's literally like thousands of people from all over the world that just post up what they've been doing. Most of them are home bakers, exactly how I started, and they'll just put in, oh, I'm doing I don't know, like I had a Thomas the Tank Engine cake, and I had no idea what to do for it. And I just put in a group, guys, please help me. Can somebody just send me, flood my timeline with your Thomas cakes. I got so many ideas, and then I put mine in there after and just said, guys, thank you so much, whatever. And, there's so many people that no matter what you're doing, there's always other people doing what you're doing. Yeah. And I don't see it as competition.
It's help. You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. Exactly. I see it as a community. Like, there's so many other cake pages that I follow. And even, for example, today I had a customer reach out to me, and she was saying, look, my baker is cancelled on me. I've got order on Sunday. I really need help. And I had to turn her down because I just don't have the capacity for it at the minute. Yeah. So I'm so sorry. My calendar is booked until March. Like, there's nothing I can do for you. And she was just begging me. And I said, look, like, give me 2 minutes.
Let me see what I can do.
I'm going to get a list for you of all the people that I follow, all the people that I know are great, amazing, and they can do what you're asking for. And she messaged me this afternoon. She's like, I'm so thankful. Like, I've got one booked straight away. And then they come back to me and they're like, Cake Bake East, thank you for referring. Yeah, we'll do the recommendation. Recommendation. And it can be annoying because you're turning away customers, and that's now probably going to be their loyal customer, and you've lost a customer, but it comes back to you,
That's what I say. I think community is stronger than anything.
Yeah, that's what
exactly.
They've got a good
community. Exactly.
But a lot of people don't have that mind frame. A lot of people think it's competition. But the fact you when you do the research, you realise you're not alone. There is a community out there.
Exactly, there is a community out there, and that's with absolutely anything.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I can see on the table we've got something special there for us. I saw Jizzle looking a bit as well. He's like, "What's that?" So is that treats for us, Iesha,
so
to
you've
try?
got a few bits there.
Goodies.
You've got 2 flavours of cookies and 2 flavours of cupcakes. So we've got vanilla and salted caramel cupcakes, red velvet cupcakes, and then we've got Nutella cookies and peanut butter chocolate chip cookies as well.
And it's a Wednesday. Usually I have this on like weekends.
Little treat.
No, but it's a treat. Thank you for that. But
a little treat.
So in relation to the flavors, how did that come about? Who helped you to set up the flavors? Because I'm hearing Nutella. I'm hearing other stuff.
Yeah, with bacon, there's
a spectrum of flavors.
Like,
where have you said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna make a menu and these are the flavors?
If I'm real with you, I bake for myself, so I'm gonna
straight up, isn't it?
I do things that I like. I think that's the easiest way to stay interested in what you're doing. Just do things that you like. Obviously, if a customer asks me for something and it's not something that I would go for, I would still do it. You know, like my skill set is wider than just the things on my menu. But yeah, I make the things that I enjoy, that I'm interested in, and that's what keeps me going, really.
So your menu, are you gonna add any additional stuff to the menu soon? You did say the cheesecake afternoon tea, but is there any special edition flavors you might do each month, or say, you know what, for this event,
so we're gonna do this? Yeah. For Christmas, I introduced a whole load of things. I think I'm gonna try and do like a summer menu as well. Now that that's coming back around, I do seasonal things. But yeah, I think it's time for a little bit of a change, a little bit of a mix up. Coming out of lockdown soon, as Boris said, June the 21st, which we don't know yet. But when we do come in June 21st, how are you gonna keep? It's essentially the people you got in lockdown relevant and hold them, because the people gonna maybe start hitting other stuff. How are you gonna keep them?
Or like, is your end goal to have a store maybe?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
So I do eventually want to have a proper catering kitchen.
Okay, that's wicked.
I wouldn't necessarily have a store to say. I would have a kitchen where people can, come to the desk, order, collect. But it wouldn't be like a shop front or anything like that. It would literally just be for you to pretty much like a takeaway for your cakes.
Like a little pop-up.
Like a little pop-up takeaway type thing. That's like the vision, really. Cool. If I was to do an actual shop or a cake shop or something like that, I would like to do it overseas. Not necessarily
Ghana.
Here. Definitely Ghana. You know what I mean? That is home.
Say that,
Ghana is home.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Anybody that knows me knows that every Christmas I am there in the front.
That must have hit you this year, then. Last year must have hit you. Yeah.
Well, Christmas just gone.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to behave myself. I'm going to do what Boris says and only fly for essential travel.
But you saw the socials though, didn't you?
And I saw the socials. I'm not going to lie, I had to delete Snapchat.
Oh, man.
I had to delete my Snapchat.
I understand that.
Well, I did delete it, but I blocked everybody.
That was out there,
Everybody that was out there, I blocked them temporarily. Lifelong friends that I said, how dare you? Because that is... Ghana is life. I go there and it is just it's a whole different me. I feel free, I feel relaxed, and a lot of my family are going back, migrating back, moving back. My grandma's opening a hotel shortly. We don't have the opening date yet, but it is coming. And it should be this year, early next year. So I have a lot of things to be there for, and I do want to, my family have a lot of things there going at the minute, and I would like to expand on that, and for it to, to be a family thing. We're all doing something.
Connect all the dots together,
we're all you know what I mean? So that is the dream.
And I think Ghana's a perfect place. Not just because you're from Ghana and I'm half myself, but I just think it's a perfect place to start something like that. Obviously the weather might be a bit difficult because of the cakes.
Yeah, that is my biggest fear. I need to... People are doing it 24/7. 24/7. So people are doing it. There are cake shops out there. I need to go and do a bit of research, a bit of digging and see how they're keeping them good.
Yeah, afloat. Because when I looked at the socials, I was like you, I didn't really look that much, but when I did look, it was popping. And when I saw
it looks beautiful out there as well, man.
Not just that, but when I saw it, I was looking. I just saw Ching opportunities. No, you just see.
That is it.
That's what you can just see there. It sounds mad, but that's what I could see.
Here's the thing, right? You see when our well, we want to say, for some people parents, for some people grandparents, 80s, 70s, 80s, 60s, they were all coming here and they would just say, oh, the streets are paved with gold. That is literally what it is for us now. There is so much opportunity, no matter where you're from. Outside of the UK, there is so much opportunity back home. Because where our parents have come here, parents, grandparents have come here, established themselves, been sending money back home to get things going. The economies elsewhere are booming, you know? So our generation over there are now in a good stead, you know? Like, they're in a position where they have disposable income. Whereas maybe 20, 30 years ago, that wasn't a thing over there.
But what you said is good, because I think the younger generation are now trying to catch on to that, where we wasn't before.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So they've seen what the grandparents have done, and they're like, I want a piece of that. And because they're getting the knowledge from the grandparents now, they're like, why don't we go and start something? Hence why you said opportunity. As soon as you saw the social, that's all I could think about.
Opportunity. The first time I went back to Ghana as an adult, I went when I was a child.
Same as well.
And then the first time I went as an adult, it was just like, all I need is a bit of change in the things I could do here.
Yeah, it's so
know
true.
What I mean?
Yeah. So what transitions, what kind of things would you do to try and get the business there? What kind of things you looking at?
I'm not in the position to know right now. Honestly,
but
I'm in the process of making a plan. I think I need to just get in that headspace and properly plan ahead and see. And like, you know, I said 5-year plan.
Yeah,
10-year
I have.
I need to do that.
See that?
I've never been a planning person.
Me as well, but I know what you mean.
I've never been a planning person.
As we get older, innit?
Yeah, 5-year plan. But I hate when people ask you, "What's your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself in this?" Like I said, I haven't been that kind of person as well. I just go with it. But I think, like you said, you kind of have to set yourself a target and a goal.
Yeah. What I would actually do over there yet, I'm not 100% sure. There's so many things that I want to do, and I'm a big dreamer. So like, there's so many, like, I find it hard to focus because I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. I want to do, you know. I need a bit of focus.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think, but lockdown, did that help you focus? It obviously helped you focus a lot.
Oh yeah.
Because I think for many people, we never had this lockdown. I see it as a blessing in disguise. Obviously, let's not be insensitive. People have passed from this. People have got ill. But again, it's a blessing, especially for the young generation. It's allowed us to put that thinking hat on.
Proper plan.
Yeah, and put things in fruition and prevail on the things we always wanted to do. Because we've always been working 9 to 5. A lot of us are on the go 24/7. We never had time to think.
For us as well, like, you know what I'm saying?
So I think it's excellent that we've used that to our advantage. You know what I mean? And like you said, you're somebody, you can't just sit down. You want to continuously keep yourself
keep it moving.
Active.
Exactly,
like,
for my own mental health.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I think that is the biggest driver for me, mental health. Like, I cannot, if I had sat down and not done anything. I can't tell you what state I would have been in now, a year later, you know?
So cakes helped your mental health.
I mean, they helped me put on a few pounds too, but just like most people.
But that's what cakes are there for. Like, there's not one person that eat cake.
A comfort to, isn't it? But, you know what I'm saying?
But it's kept me sane.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I think that's the main thing that everyone was trying to keep intact was their mental health during this time.
Yeah, keeping sane, innit, man?
And like you said, a lot of people wasn't celebrating these milestones at your birthday. Imagine that you just sit at home, no cake, nothing. It can affect your mental health.
It can.
So the fact you got people like yourself is giving that people that still sense of hope during these times and be like, no, there's a cake with candles, blow it out. It's rewarding to see.
Yeah.
It's rewarding to see, and guess the feedback you've got has been immense so far. The sort of feedback you've been getting, because I can first-handedly say I couldn't find one fault in the cake. And like I said, I'm not just saying it because you're here today. I'm not saying it because I know you. I'm saying it from a constructive person, consumer's point of view.
I want to try these things.
Try the cookie.
Should we have a taste?
Yeah, do a taste test.
Should we do a taste?
You started first. You said it. You've been looking at the table for a good minute. You've been looking at the table for a good minute. I like, even I'm a person that warms up like birthday cake. It sounds mad.
That's a bit weird.
What is, yeah? People say, why do you do that? But it shouldn't be.
With dessert, like, I think it has to be warm, innit?
Yeah, I can't eat like stuff cold.
You're not into the cold dessert thing.
Like cheesecake, only like cold.
But
I don't like warm. I don't like cold dessert. Like I can't do it at all. I can't put a cold cake in a hot custard. I have to warm up the cake and the custard.
No, that's necessary though. That makes sense.
Do you know what I mean? I can't.
That one makes sense. You know, like I will have a hot cake with ice cream.
See my family, they will vouch for this today when they watch this. Like, we're a weird family, but all of us do it. Like, we will have cake, custard, and ice cream in the same bowl.
That's weird.
Bro,
But listen,
that's combination there, you know.
Listen. My
Family,
family.
one or the other, innit? Like,
No, but we'll do that. That it's nice. Just give it a try, you'll see.
I'm okay.
Give it a try, you see. But yeah, let me
try
this. I'll definitely give that one a try.
Let's give this a try. So this is Nutella Cookie, double chocolate Nutella. Let me get it right.
Triple chocolate in Nutella.
Triple chocolate.
So it's a chocolate biscuit with white chocolate chunks, and then a Nutella center. So it's free. It's chocolate free ways basically.
This is good stuff, you know.
Cheat day. It's lovely. Where? It's nice, isn't it? So we
I'm
go
a big
silent.
fan
I'm
of, like, cookies are soft,
going
innit,
to
like.
silent for a little. Let me just eat it. Where? It's nice. Do you like it, Drizz?
Yeah, it's good stuff still.
So this is nice. It's nice. Every time we've had guests, we've had these lovely treats, and I'm just happy that the guests are giving us these lovely treats. But yeah, Iesha, how can we get to order these cookies? Where do we find you?
So if you're on my social media and it's cakebake_east, that's cakebake_east. Then you can either DM me. My contact number is on there. You can call me. You can WhatsApp me. Please call me within reasonable time. Working hours 9 to 5. I've had people call me at 10 o'clock at night. Can we get some cookies in an hour, please?
In an hour, you know?
In an hour.
I think it's like Deliveroo or something like that.
And I'm like, well, no, you can't get cookies in an hour. So yeah, please, within a reasonable time, my opening hours are on there. I will always respond to DMs, no matter what the time is, as long as I'm up. I'm not the kind of person where I'm going to read a DM and then ignore it just because it's not within the hours. If I'm free, my hands are free. It takes me 2 seconds to respond, you know.
Yeah.
So always feel free to drop me a message.
So if I was to order cookies, which I have before, but people that don't know, how does it come in terms of like quantity? What's the...
So cookies, obviously you can buy them as individuals, but then we also do packs of 4, so it's 4 for a set price. Sometimes we have promotions on those as well, and then we have bulk orders as well. So with the bulk orders, you can get boxes of 10, 12, 25. We've even done corporate orders of 50, 100.
So if you hear me on the camera, I'm trying to get the cookies out my teeth.
I'm still chewing it.
No, she's talking. I've still got the cookies out my mouth. I think she'll go and get more. So like, wait.
Nah, this stuff's good,
it's
man.
good stuff. It's good stuff. I must admit, it's good stuff. And like I said, I'm not just being biased because I know you. It's good stuff, and you vouch for that as well because you tried it.
10.
And that was sold out.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
So
flooded.
quick.
Yeah, that was flooded. I think you even made too much, didn't you?
No, do you know what it is, right? So I always make extra just in case something drops. As I said, touch wood. Never dropped a cake before, but you've always got to allow for mishaps.
Yeah.
So I always do a couple
Back
more.
up.
So what I had left was 2 boxes, which was just random flavours that were left over from each batch.
Do you know what it is? I was pissed because I saw that message so late. I swear you saying, "Oh, you come and collect this. We've got extra." And I'm like, I wasn't in the area anymore. I said, "Why did I not open my Insta earlier?"
They were gone.
Yeah, I could imagine. That's I'm not going to message you because I knew they're gone.
They were gone.
They're gone.
They were gone.
But you got another customer today.
Tastes like that. I'm not surprised they're not done. You get me?
Yeah, that was nice. But yeah, thank you very much, Iesha, for coming. Cake Bake East, guys. You know where to find her. And yeah, it was lovely. But yeah, thank you once again, Iesha. We are the Unspoken Gems podcast, and we're out. Lovely.
Wicked.
Thank you, Iesha.